Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's installation of Talking Tunes with Dr. Tony. And today we're going to be taking a look at five songs from Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, who's considered by many to be a living legend. So, Bob Dylan's studio recording career began in 1962, and I thought that he probably had the longest running record of any current artist, having recorded his last record in 2023, but I was wrong because Willie Nelson also started in 1962, but he did release a studio recording in 2024, and even more extreme than that, Petula Clark first recorded a studio album in 1956, and she's still recording to this day. So the Living Legend title, that to me, it kind of cuts both ways. The person typically has a long career, but in many instances, the person really may should have retired earlier on than they have now. Uh, to this point, I had a chance to see Bob Dylan twice in the 21st century, and each concert was about a year apart, and neither one of them was very good. Bob Dylan only played electric piano at both shows, and he did have a fantastic band, but he would wander off the stage sometimes for as long as 30 seconds in the middle of a song. And his songs were so drastically rearranged that none of them were recognizable, and his voice was not in good shape at all. I would venture to guess that probably 90% of the audience could sing better than Bob Dylan could at that time. And his voice was never that good to begin with. But he does have some fantastic studio recordings. So I'm going to share five of those with you today. So my number five is a song called Ballad of a Thin Man. And this was recorded in 1965 on the sixth Bob Dylan studio album. It was Highway 61 Revisited. And this song comes in at 5 minutes and 58 seconds. And it was recorded at Studio A in New York City. And Mike Bloomfield plays guitar. Mike Bloomfield from the Electric Flag and Paul Butterfield's blues band. And also Al Cooper um, plays what could be considered a horror movie um, organ. And as you recall, Al Cooper also played on Like a Rolling Stone. So this this album, Highway 61 Revisited, does start off with what is arguably Bob Dylan's most recognizable song, Like a Rolling Stone. Um, and Bob Dylan on this cut plays piano, and uh, this song, The Ballad of a Thin Man, is believed to be an influence on the Beatles song Your Blues that John Lennon um, plays or actually sings lead vocals. So this song, The Ballad of the Thin Man, may be one of Bob Dylan's most caustic, acerbic songs. Now, in the song, there's reference to Mr. Jones. There's something that's going on here, but we don't know what it is, do we, Mr. Jones? And nobody really knows the identity of Mr. Jones, but there's been speculation throughout the years. So the title of the song is a reference to a 1934 detective movie called The Thin Man that starred William Powell and Myrna Loy. And they were known as Nick and Nora Charles. They're hired to find a thin man with white hair. White hair. So if you listen to this song, you'll see that it's much about confusion and alienation. So that's Ballad of a Thin Man. The next one, number four, is Subterranean Homesick Blues. Now, this is a short one. It's 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, and it's also from 1965, but it's from a different studio album called Bringing It All Back Home. And this was the first album of Bob Dylan's. It was his fifth studio album. First album to have electric instruments. Before that, it was all acoustic. And this song kicks off the album. And it also was a top 40 hit in the United States and top 10 in the UK. And Bob Dylan said it was reminiscent of Chuck Berry's song, Too Much Monkey Business. And I originally believed this to be the case, and it was confirmed in Elvis Costello's 2015 autobiography that the song Subterranean Homesick Blues highly influenced Elvis Costello's song Pump It Up. Pump It Up. Now, this song is also featured in a documentary called Don't Look Back. And in that movie, when they're playing this song, Bob Dylan has cue cards, kind of similar to what I've been using for the song titles. And they reference just one word that connects with the lyrics of the songs. Um, so there are four verses in this song and no choruses. And it does represent a radical departure compared to what Bob Dylan had recorded earlier on his first four albums. The next song is from a more recent, at least to compared to 1965, Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. This is an epic narrative ballad from which I think is the best Bob Dylan album. It's called Blood on the Tracks. This is Bob Dylan's 15th studio album from 1975. And this song, Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts, checks in at 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Now, in addition to the three characters who are identified in the title, there's also Big Jim, discussed in the song, who's the wealthiest person in town, and the hanging judge. And the song is rampant with prominent rhythm guitar, bass, Hammond organ, and it has nothing but verses. There's no choruses, no bridges. So there's 15 verses in this song, and since there's no choruses, each verse is a variation of the verse that came before it, and the title is repeated throughout the song. And the song structure is very similar to two other Bob Dylan songs, Tangled Up in Blue and Shelter from the Storm. So that's my number three. My number two, maybe one of the longest titles Bob Dylan has, Duck Inside of Mobile with the Memphis Blues Again. Now, this is from Bob Dylan's seventh studio album, Blonde on Blonde, from 1966. And this song comes in at 7 minutes and 6 seconds. And it was recorded in Nashville and has Al Cooper's organ on it, and Joe South plays guitar. And it starts off with harmonica. And Bob Dylan's vocal is in a style that is often imitated, like, oh, mama, that type of vocal. So you've heard it before. Either you hate it or you love it. And people often will imitate that humorously. So, along with my number three and my upcoming number one, this is a rambling narrative. Each verse introduces a new character, and none of the verses are linked, so they're pretty much standalone. And there's actually 20, they did actually 20 takes of this song in one day, leading to a final accepted recording. And critics rate this song as one of Bob Dylan's best. So that's my number two, Stuck Inside of Mobile with the Memphis Blues again. I don't know if you've been to Memphis, but I had a chance to do a pilgrimage there a few years ago where my wife and I went. We started off in Muscle Shoals in Alabama. We went to Memphis and we went to Stax Records and Sun Studios. We didn't go to Graceland. And the Fender guitar, or I think it's Fender, maybe Gibson uh, guitar factory was closed. And then we went to Nashville and went to the recently opened Johnny Cash Museum, which is definitely worth your time. Okay, so my number one is Desolation Row. Desolation Row. So this takes us back to 1965, Highway 61 Revisited. This is a long song. It's 11 minutes and 21 seconds, and it closes out the album. Now, one of the noteworthy things about this song is there's some very nice acoustic guitar picking throughout the song, in between the verses. And the guitar player is Charlie McCoy. He was a Nashville-based guitarist who was just asked at the last minute if he wanted to play on this song, and he agreed. And what that did is that opened the door for him to play on many other albums, including Blonde on Blonde, John Wesley Harding, and Nashville Skyline. So his inclusion on this song was not that dissimilar from Al Cooper's inclusion on Like a Rolling Stone. You may know the story, but Al Cooper originally was there to try to play guitar. Once Mike Bloomfield showed up, that was out. There was no way he was going to compete with Mike Bloomfield. But there was a an organ there that Al Cooper had never played. So he went over there and during the recording actually started playing it without getting permission. And during the playback, Bob Dylan heard the organ in the background and said, "Who's that? You know, what's that? Turn it up, mix it up." So they mixed it up, and as you may know, that organ part is very prominent throughout Like a Rolling Stone. So meanwhile, going back to Desolation Row, like Mr. Jones, this is a cryptic situation where nobody knows the location of um, Desolation Row. So it does keep in line with Bob Dylan's nature to have opaque lyrics that are mysterious. And there's many characters in this song as well. There's Einstein, there's Robin Hood, there's Romeo, and there's T.S. Eliot, among many others. Um, and they recorded this song in just two takes, and there are 10 verses. So, a best way to describe Desolation Row, it's like a hypnotic ballad. So, I think these songs are very good. Again, they're not the most popular, but they're definitely worth listening to. So I hope you'll take some time to check them out. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and get ready for the next one, which is going to be the Kinks. The Kinks, who I believe if I think they're still together, but maybe not. But they, along with the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, they were one of the first English bands to be recorded. So we'll talk about the Kinks next time. So take care, everybody.